Hello there, everybody. International wrestling correspondent Adam Cleary here, and a very happy Monday to you all following a perfectly normal weekend in the world of WWE. They did a highly controversial show in Saudi Arabia, crowned an outgoing MMA fighter as their top-level champion, who was told to subsequently bring said title into the octagon, and yeah, I think that was it. Wasn't it? Oh wait, no, sorry, totally forgot. Shane McMahon is officially the best wrestler in the world. Nearly forgot there. Yes, on the off chance you've spent the last week or so in a cave on Mars with your eyes shut and jam all stuffed in your ears going la 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 la. No wrestling for me, please. WWE's first ever World Cup to crown the best in the world was won by none other than Shane McMahon. SmackDown Live general manager, non-wrestler, 48-year-old Vince's literal son, minority shareholder in WWE, Shane McMahon. In his genes. This is absolutely outstanding dedication to the banter to one side for a moment. There are obviously lots of questions about this. Actually, no, there's not, is there? There's literally just one question about this. Why? Why would they bury half their roster and crown a non-wrestler as the best wrestler in the world? Well, the prevailing theory in the aftermath, and indeed the theory that myself and the rest of the great men out there were subscribed to over the weekend, was the fact that this was taking place at the highly controversial Crown Jewel. In short, WWE really did not want to be here following the investigation into the death of Saudi journalist Jamal Khashoggi. They scoured for other venues. We thought they'd found one, but in the end they were contractually obligated to put the show on. Thus, the show itself and the consequences of what happened on it presented a bit of a problem. You remember this, don't you? Braun Strowman winning the big shiny green belt at Greatest Royal Rumble. It's not been seen or so much as mentioned since the event itself. WWE want these Saudi shows to exist in this little alternate reality bubble that nobody outside of the country is ever going to mention. But obviously they don't have that luxury now because the events themselves are such a big talking point. Thus, we all assumed that this was simply a case of nobody on the active roster really wanting the tag of crowned best in the world by Saudi Arabia on their wrestling CV. I mean, it's kind of silly. It probably wouldn't have been too big a deal, all things considered, but given that Cena and Bryan refused to work the show outright, it does sort of make sense. It could, however unlikely, come back to haunt them later down the line. So then, what do you do with a tournament full of 8 wrestlers, none of whom want the associative rub of actually winning the thing? Well, apparently you throw in a non-wrestler at the last minute and you have him win it, because nobody will ever bring that up. None of us are ever going to think of Shane McMahon as the best wrestler in the world, so we're all going to try and move on as quickly as possible, we assumed. However, this is apparently not even the case. Oh god, it's actually so much worse. We assumed WWE were just putting their most Teflon figure front and center so we could take all the PR splatter associated with this show and it would all just drip off them and we'd move on with our wrestling lives. But no, wouldn't you just know it, it is the start of another good old-fashioned McMahon heel turn. Just like last year, we're getting a big McMahon drama to tide us into the new year. 100,000 apologies. Yes, according to the absolute clown princes of banter themselves, Wrestling Observer, this is the beginning of a Shane McMahon heel turn. They're taking the only popular McMahon and using his win at Crown Jewel to start making him a total dick. Because of course they are. This, of course, means 2 absolutely terrible things. Terrible thing number 1 is that WWE are going to continue to reference Crown Jewel, even though the whole farce should now be getting put firmly behind them. And terrible thing 2, this time it's terribler, we are getting a new heel authority figure heading into Survivor Series and more than likely beyond, and it is, of course, a McMahon again, because you know what the definition of insanity is, right? This is apparently all a response to SmackDown's declining ratings, and WWE, in their infinite wisdom, have looked at the blue brand and seen the problems of repetitive title matches, Bryan being stuck in the mid-card, Nakamura holding a title and still dropping off TV, Samoa Joe's losing streak, whatever's happening to Asuka or Almas or Sanity, or the fact they've got one of the best rosters on the entire planet, and the only thing worth tuning in for is R-Truth and Carmella, and decided the solution to all of these little problems is more McMahon stuff. So yeah, let us know what you make of all that by leaving a comment below. And of course, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter because I'm a legend, and WhatCulture on Twitter in the corner as well. But in the meantime, thank you very much for watching. If I don't stop talking, I'm going to hurt myself. My name has been Adam Cleary, and I will see you soon. Shane!